Welcome to Smartly Uneducated Everybody on a very early Friday. We've managed to do it 2 weeks in a row where we started before 6 p.m.
yeah.
instead of 7 or 7:30 or whatever. But anyways, I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Evan. Here he is, the Wiz.
It's kind of nice getting here a little early, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday afternoon. It's a beautiful day here in the deep heart of Texas itself. As always, we are brought to you by nobody. Besides our favorite bands at the start of the intro, David Southerner and Dustin Beck. I had to do it early this time because last episode I did it on mute and near the end. So big shout out to those two guys over there for the beautiful and badass intro and outro. Also thanks to Bad Cat Studio for a little bit of art behind us, and shout out our friend R.A. Cisco right here behind me, and shout out Olivia and James down here as well. If y'all have a book, you want to be a little sponsor on the show, feel free to reach out to us. Our email is smartlyuneducated@gmail.com. It is a real email.
It's very real.
I figured I would do this at the top of the show because, again, last episode I did not do it at the show at all.
No, you didn't. You didn't do it at all.
Yeah, here we are. As typical, I always start with a little bit of banter and a little bit of news at the start of the show. I haven't had a lot of time recently. But this is an interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
This is an interesting one. Oh, yeah.
Fucking Kool-Aid man's coming in here, dude.
I got Ben a coffee before we got here, so he's about to shit his pants probably. Just like me last week.
Over here, dude. I got my eyes tweaking. I'm just like...
Wait. Have you been watching The Last of Us? You get the clickers going?
Strawberries. No, you lost me after that gay fucking episode.
So,
wow.
The French nationalists, I believe it was a French nationalist. Let's see here. Anyway, they have an ultra rare Asian unicorn, has genome sequence and can mean everything for these animals to be no longer extinct. So here we go again. We got another animal that's going to be not extinct. We had the dire wolf 2 weeks ago. Now we have the Asian unicorn. What is it? Picking rice, dude? What the fuck? Stupid joke.
So wait, you know how horses neigh?
Yeah.
Well, if it's an Asian unicorn, I wonder how it sounds. I don't know. I got no fucking idea.
Knee.
Oh, knee. Oh, knee. Oh, my God.
Well, it kind of sounds Jewish. Oy vey.
Oy vey. Ole.
Speaking of Jewish, archaeologists have just unearthed a 23-year-old sword. 2,300-year-old sword. That's 2,300 years old.
2,000.
And it has two small swastikas on it. It's 23-year-old sword that has two small swastikas and a Celtic necropolis. These are the French people I was talking about. You know, whenever I was talking about the Asian unicorn, I mentioned that the French nationalists. No, the French frowned the swastika sword. It is known, and a lot of the times, that the swastika has been taken out of context for the Nazis, because typically in every other iteration of it means peace, prosperity, and happiness.
Yeah.
So these Celtics probably had this sort of symbol carved into their swords for murder, for whatever reason. I just found it really interesting that they found this ancient sword that happened to have this symbol that's usually seen in Hindu and Indian sort of culture. Mm-hmm. But they found it on the Celtic sword from 2,300 years ago.
That's kind of cool.
It's very interesting, right?
It's really interesting.
And the French found it's from the 4th century BCE. This thing is ancient. Does that mean that the Nazis actually have time travel with the Diglocta diving bell, and they just time traveled back into the past and
talking about the
talking about the Nazis.
Nazi bell.
Yeah, the Nazi bell, the Diglocta. That's what
every
it's called,
time
right?
it rang its bell, you hear a bunch of stomping. It's all the goose stepping, dude. They're goose stepping over there.
They have their red shoelaces on, right? I don't know. That's really about it. Is those two really interesting things. So we have a lot of genome splicing going on in the world. They're trying to bring back the dodo. They brought back the dire wolf. They're trying to bring back the mammoth, saber-toothed tigers. But then they brought back the Asian unicorn. Why don't they just bring back the OG unicorn? Where's the American unicorn? Where's the African unicorn? I mean, tell me these things, huh? Is the African unicorn just a antelope? Is the Antarctican? Oh God, I spit. You see that? That was nasty.
Dude.
You see the? Is the
Normally I get myself wet, but you're trying to get me wet.
Is the Antarctic unicorn just like a narwhal? I'm over here just fucking
narwhals living in the ocean. Sorry,
that's something.
I love that
is
fucking
something you just did. I don't know what that
That's
was.
the old YouTube dude back in the heydays of YouTube.
Is that how you got ADD?
That's how I got retardation. But you know,
Same shit. Huh?
there I am. You know, I've got a couple of funny news headlines though.
No, please. Yeah, we love funny.
Okay, so I clicked on the wrong one. So another Florida man strikes again, guys. Florida strikes again with this one. Authorities say a man in Tampa attempted to summon Bigfoot.
Oh, that's badass.
Using beef jerky, a Bluetooth speaker, and what he describes as "quote unquote" the raw emotion of Creed's greatest hits.
No way, dude.
Yeah. No Bigfoot sightings, though 2 raccoons reportedly slow danced behind a dumpster. More like they're crawling in and out looking for something shiny. But, you know, I mean, if that doesn't summon something, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah, beef jerky, some Michelob Ultras, and Creed's best hits going.
Hell
if you're
yeah,
not
dude.
summoning some rednecks or some bros, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, doing something wrong, man.
All you need is some zins on slingshots and launch it into bros' mouths from a distance.
Yeah. I got another one where AI confuses bear for man in a ghillie suit.
Confuses bear
Confuses a bear for a man.
in a ghillie
So
suit.
a wildlife camera with built-in AI misidentified a black bear in North Carolina as "quote unquote" Greg, 38, from Asheville. The AI system then emailed Greg a warning about trespassing.
Well, that's kind of scary, dude.
Yeah, it emailed one of his contacts because he plumbed it into his thing because it lets you integrate in different things so you can send emails so you get notifications. Well, it went through his contacts looking for anyone named Greg because it for some reason identified that person as Greg. So it actually associated it to a contact and it emailed that Greg a warning about trespassing.
So we have a black bear named Greg on the
And
loose.
that Greg responded to the email, which then went to the guy who, you know, owned the equipment that it did all this and just said, "That's not me. I have less hair."
That's so awesome. I mean, if it was me, I'd be like, I get it. I see the resemblance.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in rural Montana, a man claims that a Yeti stole his Uber Eats.
No, that was just.
He turns out he was just on a lot of drugs.
Yeah,
dude.
He's just
Yeah.
high. And he's like, I didn't eat.
Lot.
There's no way I ate 3 pizzas and a Chipotle burrito.
He ate yeah.
There's no way I did that.
No
It had to
way.
be Bigfoot. I want my money back.
I want my money back,
Well,
dude.
too bad. You're just a fat ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to bigger and brighter things. I hope everyone's doing well out there today. If you're just now joining us, don't forget at the bottom of the screen, you can call in at any time. The number is 469-659-7364. You will talk to us live on air.
Yep.
It happened last week. Our good friend Ryan Cisco called in. It happens every now and again. So if you want to talk to us about anything, everything, what's on your mind, what's not on your mind, what's on my mind, what's on his mind, you can talk to us. Call us. We're here. We're happy.
Yeah. Well, we'll give you something to have on your mind because we are going to be talking about, well, the name of this. So this is really, it's about Alaska, right? And it's about, well, I'm going to say the wrong way to say this name, which is Nantinaq.
Nantinaq. Boy.
But according to how you're supposed to pronounce this, it's called Nantinaq is what it's called.
I don't like
and it's basically Alaska's Bigfoot is what this is. That's all it really is. But there's some evidence to it, and it's pretty cool. There's because there was shit that happened in the early 1900s, and it was documented. People knew about it. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, there's been some shit that's happened this year. Up in that same place. So
our lifelong fans out there, our day ones, know that I'm a cryptid head. I love me some cryptids, dude. If we're gonna have to get down and dirty and goofy and grimy with some gnarly little dudes, This is a big dude, though. I'm here for this. This is a good one.
Yep. So I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read
Yup.
this. Yeah, dude.
Yup.
Yeah, dude. Yup. Yeah. All I have is a big old yup.
Should you cheers me?
Oh, I don't have my thing filled up, but I'll cheers you with my coffee, my bro.
Cheers.
There
Brought
you
to
go.
you.
Cheers.
Guinness.
And the camera's not even on you. Let me switch it over. There you go. Dude, that's a frame right there. Anyway, so let's just kick into this. So I'm going to give you guys a little backstory real quick from the 1900s, and then just bring you up to speed to where we're at now. So Nantinaq, this is like a 2-part story, right? And it's a story of fear, flight, and the unknown, dude. So they called it Portlock, tucked into the southern curve of the Kenai Peninsula.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenai Peninsula. It was quiet, too quiet, some said. A small fishing village framed by towering pines and icy water. In the early 1900s, it was nothing more than a scattering of cabins, a cannery, and men who trusted their rifles more than their prayers, which, goddamn, I'm sure they still think that way now. And I think that way, too. Damn, I should have lived in the early 1900s, I guess. But anyways, then all of a sudden, killings started happening. A bunch of people started dying. So it started kind of as like whispers and like, you know, like, oh, dude, did you hear about that dude who totally died? And it's like, what? Someone died? It's like, yeah, dude, someone fucking died. And they're like, well, where's the evidence? I don't know. I didn't see it.
Oh, really? It was like that.
At first.
Okay.
I didn't see the evidence first. I saw it later.
Wait, so how did you not see evidence if you know someone died?
It was just rumors at first. It was like rumors were going around.
Oh, we think Steven died.
Yeah, because it's a very remote area. It's out in Alaska. It's a very remote. So it was like, you know, people who live pretty far out from each other in random places, out in these cabins in the mountains.
Whoa.
You know, the ice mountains, bro.
I mean, people like that in general have to be a little bit cuckoo for coconuts. You know what I'm saying? Like I
love it.
They typically aren't the most sane individuals. So
what you talking about, Willis?
Well, I mean, typically you're not, especially if you're not.
I'm just kidding.
Typically you're not, considering you will be locked away from society for a long time and isolated. Then you begin to lose your mind a little bit through cabin fever and lack of communication. That's just how it goes.
No, facts. So a man found. So there was a man who was found face down in the river. His ribs were snapped, like inward, like basically dry twigs, bro. It was just snapped, and it was all compaled in. Then a trapper was gutted and left halfway inside his own lean-to. Everyone thought bears at first. Everyone's like, bears?
No, it was just me, dude. I'm like drunken rage.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say, but dude, you got me thinking about killing. I'm feeling pretty good. Anyways, bears? ? Someone may ask.
Help me.
But bears don't leave footprints that are 18 inches long.
Dude, like,
yeah,
never mind.
Yeah, dude. No, you're about to go there. You know, if we do the math on that, that's a 9-inch dick, apparently. So that's what you were about to say.
That's average, right?
That's very average, dude.
Right?
Dude,
I mean,
come on. Those are rookie numbers.
For feet, right? That's the average number for feet size, right?
My feet are 18.25 inch.
That's huge. Mine are only 9 inches.
Nantinaq. Every time I say Nantinaq, I always want to say it like the anime Akira from the 90s. Akira. Nantinaq. Oh, Ron, it's Godzilla.
Is that how they came up with the car Acura? Akira.
Godzilla.
Godzilla is right, dude.
Dude, Godzilla's real. We already know it. Nuclear radiation shit, experimentation on a lizard out in some remote fucking island. We know Godzilla's there.
Yeah, we've just been brainwashed to not believe that monsters exist, right? Don't
obviously never been in my bathroom when I'm taking a shit, dude.
You're right. Why would I join you in that? My Roomba goes in there though.
It's monstrous. Anyway, no, taking some pictures. Anyway, so they found footprints like giant and they were measured up to being 8. Each footprint was 18 inches long. That's huge. Yeah, massive, primitive looking footprints, but humanoid-ish footprints. Yeah, but they were massive. But the thing is, they didn't rip apart the cabins. all they found were the footprints, and the people were killed. That was it. Nothing else was damaged. Nothing. And everything just and then the footprints just kind of vanished without a trace. That the footprints went away, and this is apparently documented, all that stuff. But then the men started refusing to go into the woods alone. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Sometimes it's nice to have a pooping buddy. It's like, dude, bathroom break, 2 a.m. It's kind of dark out there. Like, you want to be my accountability buddy?
Come walk me to the outhouse and sit in there with me while I drop a bomb, dude.
Well, dude, this is back in 1900s. It's not like you had your phone to sit there while you're taking a shit going. You know what I mean? What they did for you is the accountability.
You're giving yourself a hernia looking at Kanye memes.
Especially his new song, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were singing a cappella outside of the outhouse. Well, but no, basically, I'm going to move on. I was about to make more stupid jokes. But anyways, so men started refusing to go into the woods alone. They didn't want to go out there. Children were kept close and always within an eye's distance, at all times. Like, everyone started getting actually scared.
Oh, so it's like the 21st century right now.
Yeah, dude. Same shit, different time.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Except this one's got Nantinaq.
Yeah, Nantinaq.
Watch out for that banana clip. Just kidding. It's Nantinaq. That's way more dangerous, dude.
Yeah, for that banana clip.
Yeah, dude. The bananas are dangerous in Mario Kart, dude.
And in real life. You ever hit one with your car? Spin out, dude.
Dude, I know the death sound from Mario Kart. I'm cool.
What is it? What is it? Oh, there it is. Okay.
From getting hit. Thank you. I'll be here until the end of the night.
You got me for another hour and a half.
Yeah, dude. So, but anyways, the stories just kept building up, right? Of a massive hairy figure lurking at the tree line,
so
watching
tight.
And waiting. Dude.
Brother.
Basically, you remember Critters, the movie Critters from Outer Space?
I do.
This is like Critters from Outer Space, except there's not critters as in more than one. There's just one big ass one. That's a Bigfoot. And probably a little bit better looking, I'd imagine. I'd like to think so. If my artwork for the cover photo is any piece of evidence for how he could look, that's way more appeasing to look at than those little fuckers from the 80s movie.
Yeah, that's definitely some more indication of a handsome animal.
Yeah. Yeah, handsome a little much, but there's probably a lot of upkeep with the hair.
Listen, dude, we all know that a perm on a dog looks fantastic.
You know what? Poodle's got it going in this year, dude.
They got what going in?
They got it on the end. Penises. Anyways, so
oh no.
Anyways, so one elder simply called it Nantinaq, which is spelled how we presented it on the title of our live stream, which is Nantinaq. At first, I thought it was just Nantinaq or
that's how I was reading it too. Yeah.
But I was really wanting to know how you say it because I was like, something tells me that's a dumb name, Nantinaq. Like, whoever came up with that needs to be slapped. And then I looked it up at how you're supposed to pronounce it, and it's called Nantinaq because of the language that they speak, the tribe that's up there in that area. So anyways, so by 1949, Portlock was a ghost town. It wasn't closed, wasn't condemned. No one closed it. No one condemned it. It was just literally abandoned.
Really?
They abandoned the entire town in 1949 because the killings were going on.
Wow.
Like, people were literally dying up there.
That's some serious killing.
Yeah, dude. Makes me jealous. So the kind of place,
yeah,
never mind.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So
nope, not touching that one.
So but anyways, they say up there, sorry, I should have put this in quotes, but they said that this is the kind of place, quote unquote, people stop talking about because the forest listens.
That is very eerie. That was like an M. Night Shyamalan phrase.
Yeah, dude. But I tell you right now, if it's the fucking trees and it's like The Happening, I quit. That's gay. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. And that's a Stephen King.
Or
wasn't it a Stephen King novel?
Yeah, Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King.
Or it's like Lord of the Rings and it's the Ents that are coming out from the trees to take you away.
Dude, if it was like the Ents, I'd be like, J.R.R. Tolkien was onto something. Very cool. Now tell me where the orcs are because I'm ready to battle. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, they say it's because the forest listens. Now, let's talk about what happened 75 years later to now, January of 2025.
Wait,
It all started up again in January 2025.
no
Yeah.
shit.
So 75 years passed. Most people forgot about it, but there were some like locals like who had generations of family there,
yeah.
and they didn't forget about it. They're like, hey, like,
Wait a minute, I recognize this
minute,
story.
dude.
We've seen this one before.
Mhm.
This is what is that? Nantinaq? Nanati? No, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Nanti, Nani? But anyway, so I couldn't help myself. It was just playing right there. So apparently in January 2025, the wilderness around Portlock apparently started stirring up, and a hunter failed to check in, then another, and then a snowmobile was found overturned. The gear was scattered, like it was like shredded apart. And then prints leading away, and they were like deep and long, and then they just vanished mid-step going into the forest.
That's fascinating.
Or into the trees and everything. But then now go to February of 2020. So that was just in January, right?
Oh, so it's happened multiple times this
so
year.
then in February, a lodge caretaker woke up to claw marks across the aluminum siding of the building, of one of the little buildings out there. Yeah.
Is there photo evidence?
Yeah, there's pictures. That's why I had the other tab open. I was gonna get to it once I was on the other
what the
form.
hell? That would freak
Yeah.
me out because there's not many animals out there that can do damage to an aluminum
Well,
building.
my question was, because I did not see an answer for this, was what is the grade of aluminum siding? Is it?
That's
is
fair. That's fair.
Is it like, because you know how you can buy it where it's like really flimsy?
Yeah, of
like
course.
you could take that and just bend it over with how weak you are. You know what I mean?
That with my weak
I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
weak little butt crack, dude.
My
Squeeze
dude's
it
strong.
shut.
Dude, you put 10 watermelons between his legs, it's not gonna happen. His legs can't open that wide.
Yeah, I have very
But
short legs.
You put at least 2, he's cracking 1.
You put 2, I'm gonna cry about it because I'm gonna eat them instead.
Hell yeah, dude! Don't waste the watermelon.
Yeah, it's good food, dude. Put it
It's
in my-
good food.
Well, I don't want it in my
Seedless.
balls. I want to eat it in my mouth. Wait a minute. I don't like the way this. I don't like the way this is going, either, dude. I don't like the way that worded out very well. That did not turn out the way I wanted it to.
No. So, but anyways, so the aluminum had these massive claw marks, gouged through it, right, in like some area of it, and then he swore something had circled the property all night, like basically. Sorry, I summarized on these little paragraphs, but basically his story is like, I was reading it through a couple of articles where they were actually quoting him, and this happened this year. And basically, you know how like the way he described it, I actually kind of resonated with a little bit because I've been out camping in the woods. I know you've been out
many
there
times.
Especially up in the mountains where there's bigger wildlife
Mhm.
living out there in its natural habitat. And he basically described like stuff I've experienced where it's like, oh, there's a big ass fucking buck coming, walking around my thing, or like like one time I was camping, we had a bear come through our our campsite, and luckily we weren't in tents. We were in these like mini like cabins you could barely fit one cot in.
I've experienced elk walking around and bucks walking around. That's scary enough as it is, because
especially if it's the middle of the night.
Oh
and
my
it
God.
just wakes you up and
those
you're not prepared.
those antlers can penetrate pretty deep into your body, and you would die from one of those, right?
Yeah.
I've also been awoken to cows walking around my campsite, which they sound like raptors in the middle of the night.
Dude, cow. I have a cow experience.
I could
That
not
scared me the
imagine waking up to an 18-foot imprint. 18 foot?
18 inch.
Okay.
What?
18
What,
foot would be ridiculous.
Dude, that's the iron fucking giants out there.
That's a T-Rex, baby. An 18-inch foot, an 18-inch imprint on the ground multiple times. I would kind of lose my mind.
Where the fuck's Vin Diesel?
I'd be like, which one of you assholes is trying to prank me?
Yeah, no shit.
That's where my brain would go immediately, right?
Yeah.
And then to see claw marks, I would then go bear. But
Yeah.
there's not many bears that have 18-inch feet. That's huge.
Well, that was the other thing. So apparently the size of the gouge in the metal. So like I've seen damage from a bear before.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it on like I've gone up, when I'm in the mountains and shit. I've seen where it's like got, nooked onto a tree, or there was actually, when I lived in Colorado, I got to see where it actually just like broke, fucked up a cabin a little bit.
Gotcha.
And it was just trying to get food. No one was in it. It's just they were keeping food in there.
Like you can smell it, right?
You could smell it, and it had clawed up the door a little bit. So I've seen, and it was a full-size bear that did it, apparently. Well, the way this guy does these gouges are described, they're way bigger than a fucking bear mitt. Like the how big each individual gouge is from whatever claws are on the mitts. It was way wider. Like we're talking about gouging it through is like, imagine like you were able to stick your hand into like through paper or aluminum, you can tear it down. Imagine doing that, and then, but you're doing it with a hand like 3 times, like not like a bear where it's like it's a paw kind of shape,
as you would say, a maw.
Yeah, a maw. Yeah, but anyways, it just the way he described it, like it did not. The description was not like a bear's claw. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Oh, dang, I like bear claws. Those are delicious.
They are
donuts, bro.
delicious,
That's
dude.
crazy.
But with all that being said, he said that where is it? Okay, so he swore something had circled the property all night. So in March, a bone deep layer roar, or sorry, sorry. In March, sorry, I don't know why I'm missing a.
March brought the screen.
I'm missing. I'm missing. I deleted a word. I'm sorry. My bad. That's on me. That's on me. Anyways, my point is with this is that so March came around and apparently they got captured a roar on a mic. A researcher went out there. Yeah, and they actually got it on audio. And the audio file has been leaving basically biologists and like cryptid fans in the cryptid community pretty much just kind of speechless because it's like, what the fuck is that? Because it didn't sound like a bear roar. It didn't sound like. Now, I will say this about recordings. I want to know what kind of fucking microphone he was using. Yeah, because that would make a big difference.
Why was he recording? Where was the microphone placed? Was it near his stomach? Because if it just picked up his hunger pains and hunger growls, that's going to sound pretty crazy and deep.
Yeah.
Was it edited at all? Was there some sort of filter put onto it to make it sound deeper or to cut away different sounds so that you couldn't hear birds chirping? Because that would have an effect on it as well. I mean, hearing a scream is one thing. That could be anybody out there chopping wood. They hit their leg with the axe. They scream. I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah. And, just to add one more to this before we just start really pulling apart, like, so we can know the details of like all the crazy shit, is that they used drone in April. So they sent up a drone in April.
Who's Daron?
Jerome. They went to Chicago and they looked for Jerome. They found him in there shooting up some places, looting some stores. Okay. And they're like, Jerome, we got a Bigfoot problem. We need you to go take care of this. And he's like, I went up there. And then he said, nope, fuck this, I'm out. He came right back and went back to peddling what he was doing before. He's still not in jail. Anyways, so sorry. Listen, Chicago is like full of crime. I can make as many fucking jokes as I want. It's gun-free zone, remember? It's so safe because that logic works. Anyways, so they sent up a drone. And so in April, someone sent up a drone. They used it was a commercial unit. And they were flying it over the treetops, and then it just died midair, like full on died midair. It was charged before they sent it up. It hadn't been up very long. It died midair. They think it died because it was very, very cold out. It was very cold. So they're thinking that maybe some moisture got in there. Yeah, like froze or moisture got in there, something. That's what they were thinking. They actually they got the footage, some of the footage from being up there before because it was like cloud, right? It was doing it wirelessly, but they never got to retrieve the drone because of where it fell down at.
I imagine. So you have to think sort of extraterrestrial when it comes to these things, right? Because cryptids in general are not of natural origin. You know what I'm saying? They have the sense of alien in cryptids. Like you can look at the chupacabra. You can look at the little frog guy we talked about that one time.
Oh yeah, dude, he's my dude. Fuck that dude. I'd shoot him in a heartbeat.
I like him.
That's creepy.
I like him. I think he's fun. Name him Frogger.
His legs are too smooth.
We can play fun games, dude. I bet he's great at board games.
He's great at Frogger, dude.
Man. But
Full size
so
Frogger.
you have to kind of think outside the bun,
Outside the bun.
if you
Yeah,
will,
yeah.
right?
Dong.
Thanks, Taco Bell. No free sponsorship on this show.
Yeah. Eat more bueno. Anyway, different
So,
company.
you have to sort of think extraterrestrial. So if there is a location in Alaska that is black boxed, or if there is a EMF detector zone, because I know that there's a pyramid up there. I know that there's these things that could potentially be of other species origin. So what's to say they don't have technology that can just clean sweep a drone, turn it off?
Well, this is where it gets interesting because it makes me wonder if this is not a Bigfoot. Because of what you were saying about cryptids and stuff.
I don't think it's a Bigfoot.
I'm starting to think it's not either because of this boy we had a boy who witnessed something. So that week, the week that the drone went down, right? There was a boy in Namwale. I don't know how to pronounce this town, but it's obviously derives from the same tribes, like history and everything, hence the name of the creature, Nantinaq or whatever. Said that he saw a tall, and the way his description was a very large statured, really tall. We're talking because he was standing next to trees. And where it was standing next to trees, the boy could see like, oh, hey, this thing's standing next to a tree. If my dad or like, a regular person was standing next to it, that thing's way higher up. Like the head is like, it's a massive thing. Like we're talking about 8, 9 foot tall.
If a child says it's tall, it's fucking massive. Because everything's tall to them, right?
Yeah.
And then they don't go around being like all adults are tall. They go around saying that thing is tall.
Well, his description of it was he saw a large, tall, dark figure standing in the surf. So the surf, I was trying to figure out what a surf is or what particularly he was talking about. And the surf is basically just kind of like a terrain description for like an embankment going down into like a creek or a riverbed, like from like a shoreline. Within not on a lake or anything like that. We're talking about like a big river or something. And so this boy saw this thing standing there. It didn't move. It just stared at him.
Cool.
And it was pure dark.
That's alien-like.
The thing is, it wasn't dark outside. That was the one thing that was creepy to me.
It was Olivia James.
Olivia, come on. Just talk to the dogs. Leave the Bigfoots out of this. Okay? Just kidding.
Leave the children alone.
Leave my dogs out of this too. Unless it's Oliver. Tell him to stop being a dick.
I want to talk to my dog.
I want to talk to my dog. But anyways, so yeah. And so this boy witnessed this and he reported it and told everyone. So in May, patrols started going out and checking out the area, and the patrols returned to the area for the first time in decades, dude.
Really?
No one had been out there
to
actually search out that place in like 75 years.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And so they went out there in decades, but not officials, though. This wasn't law enforcement.
Where is this place? Like,
Alaska.
Like desolate Alaska?
Alaska. Yep. But get this. The people who went out and were combing the area were not law enforcement, was not government. It was just the locals all armed up. Like literally the locals said, fuck this. We're arming up. We're all going out there. We're making a patrol and we're finding whoever the fuck is doing this shit and we're going to kill it. That's my kind of group right there. I need to live in Alaska. I've been saying it for years. I feel like I would be one with everything out there. I love the cold. I love living in harsh environments where I'm miserable all the time. Because dude, you can't beat the scenery, especially when there's a dark figure in it too.
Yeah,
staring at you. And then I'd be like, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters.
We're going to call me because I had my 20 gauge shotgun.
Yeah. So basically they went out there all armed up. And the thing is that they were finding 18-inch footprints measured the exact same. They found some footprints that they actually found. Concerning. So where the boy was, the boy witnessed seeing this dark figure, right? They went and inspected that area. Like they all patrolled out, all armed up, all the locals did. And they did find footprints up in the tree line. But the thing was that the footprints just disappeared. Like they could follow them for like just a minute pretty much. And then all of a sudden it was like, because these guys out there, these locals, I mean, we're talking, these are people, more than likely majority of those locals are all their family's been out there a long time. They've got ancestors that go back to the tribes that lived in that area. They all are basically lived in that, in this nature where like they're taught how to hunt. Like from everything I was reading about this, the locals up there, all of them, a good chunk of them know how to track too.
Well, and
they're
so they
very
kinda have
good
to,
at it.
right?
Oh yeah. And they're very good at it. And all of them, basically the overall consensus at the end was, we all lost track of this thing really fucking quick.
That would scare me.
Like we just found where the boy was talking about. We went and checked it out. We found giant fucking footprints, humanoid looking footprints. But the weird thing about the footprints and some of in the description was, I think it's got big ass fucking like claw nails, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's got like don't get me wrong, it's probably got the normal little toesies, like human little toesies. This little piggy, that's not a piggy, that's a hog, bro. This little hog went all the way home, but it didn't have like our kind of human nails where, we can't do shit with them. It had claws. So, or something sharper.
So, Portlock is
Potluck, hell yeah.
southwest of Anchorage. It's relatively close.
Mm-hmm.
It's not walkable distance or drivable distance. You'd have to fly to it, but it is relatively close to the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
It's
but
in the middle of
you need to give definition on relatively close, because relatively close there, what you're talking about, because I know what you're talking about. That's like from here to basically Austin, Texas, almost.
Maybe further.
Yeah, that's so DFW to Austin. And imagine hellacious terrain. You can't drive there. You got to fly in.
Yeah, it's quite far.
Yeah, it's quite far. But for there, it's relatively close.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
Everything's relative in terms of where you're located. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, anyways, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
it's like in the middle of a bay. So it's right at the entry point to where you would come into on a boat. Sorry. Okay. So Anchorage to Kenai, which is where Portlock's closest city and airport is a 3-hour drive. So it's almost like to Austin from Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So you were right. That's amazing. Good catch.
I looked at Google Maps, dude. I was like, I was literally with my eyes, I was doing this, dude. I literally when I was looking at stuff, I had a toothpick next to me, and I literally took the toothpick and I put it up next to the monitor, like over the screen. I put it up there and I was like trying to measure, and I was like, and then I like scrolled down to where Texas was, and I was like, that same fucking distance.
That's insane.
Hey, dude, as long as you got a stick, dude, you can measure some shit. Like, I'm just saying. Anyways, so what were you going on though?
I was just saying that like the locale of this isn't necessarily desolate.
Yeah.
It is quite uninhabited because the entryway into Alaska to Anchorage, there's a long bay that you have to boat through to get to it.
Yep.
It's right at the entry point. It's one of the first cities that you would come across within Alaska once entering that bay. So it could potentially be the aliens, if you will, that are living in the oceans that we all talk about and know about, have come up onto land, and this is where one of them decided to anchor down and live.
Or it could be, it could be aliens, but if it is something paranormal, right? Alaska, a huge part, pretty much anywhere in fucking Alaska, it's, you have these weird magnet spots, like high in magnetism of different things. And it's like these weird scientific anomalies all throughout that state. And that's also apparently where the Black Pyramid is.
Yeah, right.
So it's probably coming from there. I based that off of nothing.
Yeah, same. My mind is also based off nothing. So I would like to think about what sort of military bases are there, because we know
there's a handful up there.
Because we know what. How do I say this? We know what Plum Island did, and we know what the CDC has done, and all these things, and all the tests they have done for bioengineering, what DARPA has done for bioanimal mechanical engineering. It's very possible. Granted, 1800s or whatever, it's a very long time ago.
Breakaway civilization.
That's also a possibility,
Nazis.
Right? Yeah, that's also a possibility. The list goes on, dude.
Their Dunkel Bell thing.
Dunkel Bell.
I don't know.
The
Kerflunkle.
About the Diglocka? The
Schnitzel. Anyways, keep going.
Dang, I'm making
Just
you,
dude,
you,
just
you're making
ignore
me
me.
hungry, player.
I want some Venus schnitzel.
Some Venus
It's a
schnitzel.
Venus schnitzel.
So there's a lot of things that could possibly be of contempt and of argument here. Yes, is something awful happening? Yes.
Yes.
Something awful was happening, and
Yes.
obviously still is. Could
Yes.
it just be a crazed murderer?
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite a possibility.
I'll say all the yeses. You just keep going.
Hey.
I'm going to be your commentary. Keep going.
Could it be some angry child?
Yes.
Okay. Could it be potential Bigfoot?
Nah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yes. Yes.
there's a lot of things here that we have to consider. I know that talking about this thing, it's a cryptid. We don't know what it is. It leaves a lot of open ending, but this is where we come here to sort of not necessarily debunk, but
Oh,
to
yeah.
question and
This is just to talk about
and
it.
to leave things open, to make you think about it and to consider different concepts. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Together we're smartly uneducated. Oh man, let's listen to that. That's a good plug for the show, huh? We're having a good time. We're having a good show here, huh? We're having a good time.
Oh yeah. But can I jump in real quick?
For the love of God, save me.
Thank you. Awesome. Cool. So let's backtrack real quick. Let's break down the original events, dude. So Portlock, Alaska. That's where it all originated from. Sorry, I was about to burp just now. I could feel it, and I was like, "Oh, is it going to happen?"
Let
It
it
just
go. Let it go.
So you were just kind of given the geological kind of
Yeah, I think it's
graphical
important to
location,
know
right?
where it is
Yeah.
relatively.
So like I was trying to say earlier, I kind of made note of it. It's a small fishing and lodging village.
They got a golf course now.
Right. Oh, hell yeah, dude. So it is located on the southern tip of the Kenai Peninsula. And it's isolated and it's mainly only accessible by boat. I mean, some planes do fly in, just so people know. Planes do fly in, but it's challenging. You know, like even like using the plane to get in, that's got to be planned like heavily because they get canceled all the time because the weather always changes up there. But by the 1930s, it was a moderately successful, place due to its cannery and the proximity to all the like rich hunting and trapping grounds. Because the hunting grounds out there were apparently phenomenal.
Really?
Yes, the hunting grounds were phenomenal. Like you name it, they had it, and in great abundance too. But everything kind of changed in 1931. That's where it all started, and it went all the way till 1949, and everyone said, "Fuck this place."
No shit.
I'm out. Yeah, because everything, the reports started coming in and getting around about all these mysterious disappearances of hunters and trappers. So I mentioned people who died earlier, but I did not mention the people who went missing and were never found, and they never found remains, nothing.
Well, that's
And they did not leave like as in, "Oh, I'm going to fly out and, fuck this place," or "I'm really the murderer. I'm going to skip town real quick." No, there was only one way in. There was like basically two at the time. There was only one way in and out, and that was a boat. Because this is the 1930s. Planes would not fly out there because at the time where we were in aviation, they did not like even wanting to attempt to fly it out there because they weren't equipped for the insane weather conditions on these planes back then, like to handle the icing and like all that crap.
and I got to say, I mentioned earlier that it isn't that desolate. It's pretty desolate.
It's pretty fucking. That's why I made sure to give the comment about like
It's pretty
distance.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Alaska can be very misleading when you look at it on a map because the way they show how big it is,
Yes.
it's not a true representation. How Alaska is so big that it's like almost half. What was it, like a third of the United States?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like 3 or 4 Texases put together. This whole time, us Texans down here going, "Dude, we're the biggest goddamn place
Everything's
that
bigger down here.
And then these fucking Eskimos show up and they're like, I remember my first beer.
And then the Russians
Like,
show
whatever,
up.
I've seen a map. I trust the government. And then I realized that's not true. And now I'm like, I don't trust the government.
And then you got Vladimir who's like, "Oh, you think this is big? Come to Russia. It is very big here."
Dude, hell yeah, dude. I hope I make a Russian.
Is that a good
friendly.
accent?
Yeah.
Could it have been better?
Yes.
You're no.
I'm
you're
just
wrong.
kidding.
You're
You're
wrong.
perfect at everything you do. You and your perfect beard.
I know you like it. Cleaned it up for you, huh?
Ah, thanks, buddy. I like your gray salt and pepper going on there.
That's,
You know what I
that's
mean?
hurtful.
No, it's called. That's a sign of sophistication, dude.
It's called. I'm degrading.
You could be
Entropy.
like me and just look like a baboon's ass with a face.
Wait, what?
Anyways, so so by the everything in 1930s, by the 1930s, it was becoming a very successful place. Like the city was starting to boom. The town was, because it had the cannery and all those rich hunting grounds and the trapping grounds. Like they were literally in this little nest egg that was about to propel and make all this money, because people would start coming up there and doing all these different things. But anyways, once everything started, all these reports started going on, bodies were starting to pop up. They were starting to find these bodies in these horrible, horrific conditions. Like, don't get me wrong, you see a bear attack, if a bear mauled the fuck out of someone, it's gonna be in horrific condition. And at first people did think it was bears, but then they realized that these people weren't being eaten, they were just being fucking murdered.
Really? So that's different.
They weren't being eaten.
That's different.
That was there was so many curious things about this thing that stood out, because it's like, that's why they were like, we're ruling out bears, because not only no one's eating these guys, they're just getting killed. And there's nothing else in their cabin or tent, like food. Like they were finding food would be sitting on in one of them, food was actually sitting on this guy's deal. Like there was food out and it was not even fucked with. Like we're talking about freshly cooked meat and shit. Not even fucked with. So it's like, if a bear was hungry and it was coming in for that, well, it didn't eat the dude and it didn't eat the food.
It killed the dude and left.
Cocaine bear, dude. Only back then. Nantinaq coke too. It's coke. That's gonna be the title for Cocaine Bear too. Just get rid of Cocaine Bear.
It's gonna be
Nantinaq coke too. Coke is just English for cocaine.
Oh, see, I'm thankful for you to.
I'm glad. I like spelling things out.
I'm glad that you explained the joke to me twice.
Joke. Joke.
Oh, is that how you spell that?
Or jock.
See,
E is silent.
I know that our fans are dumb, so I'm happy that you did. I'm talking to you, Ryan. You made a short story about me getting fucked by aliens.
You got to be closer to the mic.
I don't want to yell at the mic.
Oh, that's fair.
I cannot believe you, Ryan. Somebody has drawn that. And it's going to be seen by my family.
Actually, I'm the one who drew it. Yeah, I've already drawn that. I've already drawn that scene. And let's just say he's tummy down on a table with a.
My family might see that.
Little alien appendage fingers.
How do I explain that to my dad?
Dude, sometimes in order to heal, you have to share your trauma.
Dad, I got fucked by an alien. In fiction.
I told you I don't like gay people. Get the fuck out. You better not. Your Christmas lights better be all white.
No son of mine's getting fucked by gay aliens in my bloodline. Damn it. Get out of here. Dad, it was fake.
You're dead to me now, son.
I didn't consent.
Anyways, sorry. So here's the thing. So no one was getting eaten. They were just getting killed. And then nothing was getting eaten. Yeah, I know, right? But the thing is that they were getting killed. But here's what really solidified it. At every, except for one dead, scene, right? Because that person was found quite a bit later. And there had been snowfall and all that stuff, like fresh snowfall. So there was no tracks. Like there was nothing because of all the fresh, crazy amount of snow. But the other murders, that took place, other people who died, they found 18 the same size fucking set of footprints at every single scene, coming to and from the body.
Do you think it's somebody who's putting fake shoes on and walking around and killing people?
That's what I wondered until that little boy was talking about the dark figure. But that also can,
maybe he was wearing stilts.
Dude, I just threw a black sheet over me and stood there and
maybe he's never seen a black person before. There's a lot of things here, dude. There's a lot of things here. I mean, it's very possible that this Eskimo has just never seen somebody of African descent.
I can see it now. Coming out of little igloos. The fuck is that?
That's an alien. That's a cryptid.
Mom, the night came to life. That's probably what it thought, right?
I don't know about that, but
That's not racist.
it's
Grow up, Evan.
I got it sometime.
Anyways, what were you saying though? You were about to say something. You were starting to say something.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Not anymore.
Because it's very possible that they could have just put fake feet on and walked around on stilts and been like, yeah, there's no way that Joe Schmo will be committed this crime. It was the Nantinaq, Bigfoot.
Yep. Nantinaq.
I am hard pressed to believe any cryptid. No, let's get this cleared up. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you already that I like cryptids. I think they're nice. I think they're fun. I want to make a Pokemon collection about them. I want to collect them all. But it's got to be real here at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's the likeliness of an 8-foot tall hairy monkey killing people that's some goofy ass shit.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
Yeah. What I think is interesting though, there is one I was saving.
It's fun though.
I didn't write it down because I was going to have this up and I wanted you to be cut off guard because I want to see your face. It is fun. I want to see your facial expression when I say this one. It is fun. All this is fun. So here is what kind of puts everything into perspective. Other than, like the giant fucking footprints that are damn near 2 foot long, right? I swear to God, if they're 2 foot long and like 1 inch wide, I'm like, bitch, needle dick, what? Unless it's opposite day.
The anorexic Bigfoot. And he's like, please, I just want to eat something. I'm a vegetarian.
I was asking him to boil these leaves. Oregano.
Oregano.
But anyways, so get this. This is the one I didn't put it in here because I wanted to see I wanted you to hear this fresh without even seeing it.
Oh, is there a video or something?
No, it's just one of the accounts that happened. Right, it was when everyone was leaving. Right, there was not that many families left. This happened in 1949. This is what made the last few people just say, "Fuck this, we're out." Like we're not hunkering down because the reason they didn't want to leave is because back then, like since they're in a place that's so remote. They invested their entire lives into their homestead there. Like, it's not like they could just, let's just uproot and go over here, honey. Where the fuck are you going to go?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't just abandon your home, right? Well, this was the last straw that pretty much propelled everyone out.
That broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Huh?
So with everyone, all the weird things, there were still attacks happening sporadically. It wasn't just like 1 or 2. There was dozens. So we're talking multiple over the course of like basically 20 years, give or take, or take a little. It was like just under 20 years, but the last 10 years it ramped up a whole lot. Well, they were like, hey, let's play it safe. There's not a lot of people have been leaving. The town's dwindling down. So the local neighbors to each other who are close enough pretty much set up an alarm system. They set up bells and shit like that. The big bells that they would ring, shit like that. Even some would have like lights that, things they would burn. Like, that's so it'd be super bright to indicate, hey, bad thing happened. You need to be aware,
the British are coming, sort of shit.
The British are coming. Yeah. Bigfoot's dick's coming. Run.
You can hear it whistling as he runs. Behind, right? It's got wind drag.
I think they just saw my face on camera. They was like, what? But so they set all that up or whatever. Well, this is the one that's the weirdest one. This is the one that turns this into, I don't know if it's cryptid or this could just be paranormal.
Dude, hit me with it. I love this.
So there was a husband and wife. They had no children. They were living closest to this one person's cabin, like their little home. The guy who was living there, his wife had passed away a couple of years ago or some shit like that. So he was by himself, right? And all of a sudden, it was the evening. Apparently, it took place the evening. It didn't specify the exact time by any means. So it wasn't like 2 a.m. I have no idea. I just know it was the evening and it was mostly dark is what the description was. They just started hearing a fuckload of banging around and shit getting broken. And that homestead was roughly like where their cabin was roughly the way they described it. In my head, it kind of translated to like basically maybe a football field to 2 football fields away,
okay,
give or take. That's what it translated to. I could be completely wrong on the distance.
And in complete utter darkness and silence, it echoes very far.
Yeah, and they heard all this smashing, like basically chaos commotion happening somewhere. So with all this stuff going on, the husband, there with his wife, apparently he armed himself and he was like, they were looking through their windows and or whatever. And then all of a sudden they heard the bell going off from their neighbor, the alarm, like saying like the alarm was for help me, I'm being attacked type thing. The bell rang, went bang, bang, bang. It was like one of those ones. They described it in the description. It's like the guy had like a big bell that he had hung, and he just had grabbed like a rope that had like the metal ball in there and just smashed it back and forth. And apparently there was only 3 big bangs, and then it was just pure silence.
Wow.
And they heard a scream. They heard a scream. The bell stopped and a scream, like basically all at the same time. Then just pure dead silence. That guy, since that went off, he did I forgot what they said he did. It was like the signal. So he let the other kind of, adult, families and shit that are in the area know by lighting something or doing something. They said it took they got there within like 20 to 30 minutes because they had a rule. You don't just go out there by yourself, even if someone's in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to end up in the same thing with how many people have been dying. They get there. His fucking like whole entryway to his cabin was apparently just obliterated. Yeah, just ripped apart. Like the entryway.
Like splintered and
like splintered and stuff. He was there, like found him, and he was like fully, like basically he had like a hole completely through him. Like as if something just like, it's like One Punch Man just went, bah, and just blew a hole.
It's like in Kung, oh my God, Kung Pao, whenever he punches a gelatin circle out of him.
Yeah, but obviously it wasn't like a perfect circle, you know. It was like the bones were like, hence that's why I referenced the bones being snapped like twigs and stuff. But the thing is, he wasn't all clawed up at all. He had like just a couple of little nooks, like defensive wounds is what I translated it to. But the way it was described was like more of like from him trying to grab things that had been like scratched up already, like broken and shards. So it was cutting his own hand. But he had no other like indications, any other markings on him. It was just that main wound.
That's strange.
But there was no gunshots that went off. Nothing, because if a gunshot went off, they would fucking know that. That's louder than that fucking bell, because that dude apparently had an elephant gun that was noted in there. Basically, what was described for what they actually call it, the caliber and all that stuff. It was basically an elephant gun. He had this massive caliber rifle. Rifle was loaded. Everything. He even had like his guns were loaded, but he got caught so off guard, he wasn't able to get to his guns. His guns were like 4 feet away. So that tells me something blew through that, or he was outside and he was running inside and he slammed, like closed the door and something blew right the fuck through it. And
followed
said,
behind, right?
Like, fuck you, bitch, I'm here. Polar bear. I'd imagine it was a polar bear, right? At that point.
That's what it sounded to me, because polar bears attack humans.
But this is the part where I don't want to call it a Bigfoot. I really don't, because reading this one, here's the last part. When they get there, it was 3 men who got there. It was like, the other locals, right? They get there and it's like roughly 20, 30 minutes after it happens or something like that. They find him, all that stuff. And they're like, holy fuck. Well, when they walk out of his cabin, they see across the way, there's another tree line. There was like a little bit of a clearing. And then there's another like big, tall tree line or whatever. And they think they're looking at, they said it looked like a deer. Like there was just a deer walking. But then the deer all of a sudden, like a black figure looking like deer, just basically morphed into a giant person, basically.
It's Wendigo.
Yeah. So it makes me wonder if it's like, that, or because that goes into like Native American folklore heavily when they go through,
like shapeshifters as well too, right? The idea of Shapeshifter Ranch, where they have all these different shapeshifters.
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. Shapeshifter Ranch. I like that though. Patent pending. TM.
Who are able to morph into whatever have you.
It's morphin' time.
I had to explain what morphine was to my son, by the way. That hurt my heart. I was like, it's like Animorphs. You don't know what that is. It's like Power Rangers. You don't know what that is. So
this gets juicy, bro. This gets juicy because I'm about to make you're going to love this whole thing. So let's move forward now, right? So this guy, or these people, they see this thing like shapeshift, right? this figure going from to all three of them was a fucking looking deer or buck or elk or something, and then all of a sudden, well, elks are huge.
Yes, they are. They're massive.
This thing formed, like literally transformed into this giant, like thing. This giant humanoid kind of looking thing. Not a bear.
Giant humanoid kind of.
So, and then it's apparently stared at them with piercing eyes. Now, I was like, why is it saying eyes? How could it be saying eyes if it's far away or whatever? Apparently, you know how when you shine a light?
Yeah, red.
It had like a orangey tint to it when, two of them just formed. And it stopped moving and it just stood there staring at them from this tree line that was far away.
That's a Wendigoon.
Wendigo? Don't. No.
Wintagoon or win not to goon? That's the question.
Dude. But so that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Everyone fucking left at that point. By 1950, so less than a year later, it was like, because this happened in 1949, the last thing. Not even it was like 6 months later, basically. Everyone left. They just said, fuck this.
I would too. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So they were full on abandoned. But get this. So the native Alaskans out there, the tribes that live all throughout that region, not in that town, but the region, because it's a massive area, they have described a supernatural entity, a spirit, a forest. It's a basically like a forest spirit entity, some type of, like, it's a forest spirit, basically, is what they call it. Nantinaq. And they've been calling it ever since that, or since before these attacks. This goes back a long time, hundreds and hundreds of years. This goes back way into these tribes that live up there. And they knew about this thing and they were talking about it because, people started getting, basically they sent out, people did some detective work throughout the 60s and 70s, ended up talking to these tribes who still live as a tribe, right? Like, and they go back hundreds of years. They were like, we know what you're talking about.
Hold on. This sounds so much like the Peru aliens. This sounds identical almost. In the forest.
Except for the precision of removing.
Well, yeah, skin. Maybe their technology just got better in the
Those
past
are reptilians,
years, right?
Okay, come on. Or the mantis people.
It sounds almost exactly like that. Just a different species living in the cold mountains versus the lizard people living in the hot forests.
Yeah, in the jungle. Yep.
That sounds just like it.
Yeah, no, there is very similar narratives. Pee. Oh, you're good. I'll save the other juicy part for you when you get back. Except for the pee part. You go pee. So these Nantinaq apparently originates that term from I don't know how to say this name. The natives, we'll just say the natives, from up there. And they refer to it as some type of supernatural, like kind of spiritual forest entity. And apparently this thing is like it's not described as a typical like cryptid, or like, I know a lot of people like to allot it in with Bigfoot, but after finding out all this information and doing my research on it and seeing where these investigations led to back then versus like the resurgence that's apparently happening now, it seems to me that this is not a Bigfoot type thing, unless I know that there's people out there that some people consider Bigfoot a cryptid. I never really have, just because of, I don't know, my experience with the subject material on that. It's just, I've never really associated with a cryptid, but maybe it is. I don't know. I know some people have that opinion, and that's totally fine. Their guess is as good as mine at this point. I got no idea. But this thing is apparently not really a typical type cryptid, but is kind of looked at as like a guardian spirit, or like a Punisher. Not Punisher from Marvel. That'd be tight though. But no, apparently like it exists to give punishment. Like if you've done something wrong to the forest or harm something, things like that, that's why they referred to it as that. And they say it only appears when their sacred land is disrespected. What's up, buddy? You're back.
I'm gonna disrespect these nuts.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna repeat what I just said because you'll enjoy this. So like I said, spiritual kind of forest entity, right? Well, it's described not as a typical cryptid, but as a guardian spirit or a punisher, like someone it would deliver punishment. And apparently, according to the native tribes, this entity will only appear when sacred land is disrespected or tarnished, like ruined. Like if you do something to cause a problem, kind of like the Poltergeist movie,
or the Cenobites.
How they built a house on top of an Indian burial
or
ground.
the Cenobites from Hellraiser.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
You come and disrespect our land. Do you like disrespect? Well, disrespect you too.
Where's the needles?
Then blow them up.
Hooks in the meat.
Jesus wept. You don't know that scene?
No, I remember the scene. I just have not watched Hellraiser.
That's the most famous scene in Hellraiser, where it's near the end. He hangs him up on hooks, rips him in half, and he goes, "Jesus wept," and then rip him to pieces.
Dude, I haven't watched Hellraiser in a hot minute. I need to go back
Hellraiser's cool.
Watch it.
Hellraiser's cool.
So yeah, so yeah, dude, like according to them, it would appear when sacred land. I was saying when you first walked out that when I first mentioned the cryptid thing was that I know some, like me, I don't associate Bigfoot. Like in traditional sense of talking about Bigfoot, I do not associate Bigfoot with a cryptid. But I know some people do. Oh, my bad. I clicked the wrong button.
Over here deadpanning it.
Yeah, I know some people do though. Like, you know, we've come across that when we talked about Bigfoot a long time ago.
Oh, we talk about it every now and again.
Yeah. And dude, there's people, like we were coming across stuff where people were saying that Bigfoot's a cryptid and there's that whole theory and all that crap. I mean, they could be right. I don't know.
I mean, Bigfoot is
no fucking idea.
Bigfoot is technically a cryptid because it is an unknown species that nobody's ever been able to prove. Simply put, right?
In that sense, yes. Yeah.
Much like aliens, much like every other cryptid out there, like the Loch Ness monster. Back
off, Nessie.
No, never. Like people claim to have seen it, but have no evidence. Cryptid. Much like Jesus Christ. Cryptid.
Fuck yeah.
Evidence, but there's a book.
Aliens, cryptids.
Yeah, dude.
My hopes and dreams, cryptid.
My love life.
My
cryptid.
Success in life, cryptid. Dude. The cancer I don't realize in there, but I'm denying it.
Cryptid, dude. Absolutely right.
God.
My hearing loss. Cryptid.
We fucking knew it.
Huh?
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, just to move forward with it. So the Nantinaq is known to live in high forests or mountain passes and apparently capable of great stealth and devastating violence, which matches up with everything we've talked about already.
Yeah.
Especially with that dude, just like, I'm gonna fucking put a giant crater hole in your chest like a cannonball.
First off,
but we're gonna mash everything fucked up on the way.
And before we do that, I'm gonna blow up your front door. I'm gonna drop kick it. It's gonna explode.
You want to know why it exploded and splintered?
And everyone's gonna hear it.
Everyone's gonna hear about it. You want to know why it splintered? Probably. Dude's got too much muscle, dude. He just fucking, and then he flexed his way in, dude, and just. Yeah, dude.
You close the door on me. Hey, bro, you close your door on me. I'm gonna flex my way through your house, bro. Where's your protein at? I'm hungry. Boom, boy. Come on, come back around here again, would you? I dare you. You can't do any push-ups like I can. I'm fucking the Bigfoot, dude.
I'm the fucking Bigfoot, dude. It's great. So, anyways, now that's been covered. So, sorry. There's one other thing. Oral tradition does not frame Nantinaq as an animal, but just as a force of nature and literally something to be feared and not hunted.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like,
that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. So now let's jump forward into modern sightings and the strange shit. Now, I know I mentioned 2025.
Okay, yeah.
That's when people started realizing it may be the same thing.
How did we get there?
It started in 2019.
Wait,
I was trickling this in. I was intentionally setting this up.
They started going back in 2019?
No, so this is where things started happening in. It's 2019. It's like basically 75 years later, give or take, like over 70 years. It technically started in 2019, where hikers and bush pilots report like a bunch of strange movements, animal silence, like really like dead silence. All of a sudden the birds would go completely quiet.
Some hills have eyes type of shit.
Yeah. And then, you know, all of them, you know how you get that feeling where you just feel like someone's behind you or watching you just out of nowhere. And you could be in a great mood. Like you're not even in a premeditative, like scared state. You're just chill as fuck. And all of a sudden you're like, it's like someone grabs you from the shoulder.
I always feel like somebody's watching me. Can't say anything else. That's 10%.
Copyright.
10%.
So, yeah, they were like saying that they had this feeling of being quote unquote watched, right? Because everything would go strange. You know, there'd be strange things moving around, and all of a sudden, but also dead silence, no birds, no nothing. Then game camera footage apparently began to circulate, showing massive blurry shapes. Nothing was clearly identifiable.
Of course.
I went and I looked it up on YouTube. I went and searched, and I don't even know if I found the right video, but I did find one that matched-ish with what they were talking about, and it claimed to be the one. And I will say this, yeah, it was blurry in footage, and it was hard to tell what the fuck it was. But I can tell you right now, you still have reference material in there. Like, you have things you can look at in the video and deduce from it going, well, I can tell that's a big-ass fucking tree that's 30 foot fucking tall. You know, because these pines out there aren't small trees.
No, they're massive.
They're fucking massive. Some of them, you can't put your arms around them. And it's just like, you can see those, so you know how big, like, that tree is. And then you see this blurry fucking object next to that tree walking through them. And you're just like, well, seeing how big those fucking trees are, that thing's pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
Like, that's bigger than a bear. Like, that, just from seeing what I saw, it was just like, yeah, it's blurry, it's pixelated. And the pixelation could cause a misrepresentation. You know how pixelation gets with the, like, you know, making something seem like it's a little bit bigger than it is.
Absolutely right.
But that's a little bit bigger. This thing was so fucking big. I would guess it was at least 10 foot to 15 foot tall. Just seeing this thing.
That's fucking
compared
massive,
to the trees.
dude.
But
That's
it's a big blurry object, so you can't even tell like what the fuck it is. Like in any capacity.
It kind of looks like a coffee stain on paper.
But pure black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy in a way. But so that was the game cam version. Blurry shapes, nothing was clearly identifiable. But but get this, up in that area, and this is in between 2019 and 2022, in the same places where all the murders took place and Nantinaq apparently existed, or where the murders happened, all that fun stuff in that town, they were finding trees snapped mid-trunk. We're talking about full-size fucking pines snapped. I don't know what causes that unless you got like a really crazy fucking storm, like an F5 or something. A tornado.
That's fishy. That is fishy.
They were finding trees. Now get this, the trees that were snapped in half, these trees are ones you can't even put your fucking arms around. And we're talking about when they're snapped in half, we're talking about splintered. Like as if someone just said, you know how when you break a toothpick and you just go,
of course.
And it's all splintered and shit and like kind of jaded in one direction. Imagine that just on a big ass fucking tree.
It just looks like somebody snapped it in half, right?
Yeah. And
a 10-foot tall tree.
I mean, you've seen the videos of trees just moving, like as if something's grabbing on the ground going, I don't want to hear meow.
Yeah.
And pulling it, right?
Trees walk toward water, right? They slowly move toward water.
I wonder if trees that do that have fungi wrapped up inside of it in the roots.
No, because trees search out water.
I was trying to hope there was some type of contagion that was going to happen or something.
I know. End of the world is always a fantasy, right? But
I know. It'd be cool. Last of Us. But
no, that's
only I'm not Joel.
Or I'm also definitely not
Ellie. Yeah.
God, Nick Offerman's.
You would make a really good Ellie compared to the chick who's playing her now.
I got a beard. No.
I mean, isn't she supposedly not a chick in real life?
Then, yeah, Antonio Brown posted the funniest fucking thing about it on X I've seen in a long time.
What?
About the character who played Ellie in The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny.
I'll have to look at it.
But yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting shit with the trees moving, trees being snapped in half.
That's something I can't explain. The trees being snapped in half in mid trunk. That is,
and where
fucking thick.
Well, and the thing is, when they're saying mid trunk, where it's snapped in half is way too high for even bears. Like we're talking, like even if a bear, like you could take a polar bears are fucking massive. You ever seen a polar bear in person before?
Not in person. No.
I have. When I was a kid, I got to actually see a polar bear in person.
That's scary.
A full sizer, right? And I still have, I think I actually have the photos up in my photo album upstairs and, in my house. Well, the thing is that the photos I have show that polar bear. See, and it's a full grown one. So like as an adult, I can go look at it and I can see how big a polar bear really fucking is. And that was one in captivity. That wasn't even one in the wild where they're even bigger because, you know, they're able to eat and do whatever they want and, you know, actually thrive.
Yeah.
And the one in captivity is smaller, but compared to my dad, like other adults, it's still 2 to 3 times the size of an adult. Because I have a photo of it standing up to grab something, like when it came out of the water. It was like fully extended. And dude, it's like 2.5 6-foot tall men, basically. Like, it's not that tall, but you know what I mean. It's fucking massive.
2.5 is not a very big tall man.
Huh?
2.5 foot.
2.5 feet tall, dude.
That's very tall. Man.
It's a mini.
That's
okay. But no, so like where these trunks, you know, these trunks were snapped mid, you know, these trees were snapped mid trunk was well above where a bear could even get leverage. Or it couldn't even touch it.
Or a typical creature could push over. Maybe it was a prehistoric sloth walking around, right?
A prehistoric sloth. Like that's why it just stares, because it's not intending to stare. It's just slowly turning its head.
Oh no, they see me.
Yeah, every time I think of sloths now, I think of Zootopia. Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, I sent you the link to the funny thing that Antonio Brown said.
Okay, I'll pull that up in a second. So...
I've been trying to look up...
I just want to finish it.
Of course.
That way it's done.
While we've been chit-chatting over here, I've been trying to look up photos of the Nantani. I've been trying to look up photos. A lot of them are just like 3D rendered photos of a big, tall, skinny, hairy Bigfoot.
Oh, here, let me pull up this then. Let me just pop it over to here. So whenever you search Nantinaq, Alaska, this is what pops up. There's no photo of it. Like, I mean, no one's gotten it.
Or the cam videos even, right?
Yeah, and the cam videos, apparently, you know, you can go to YouTube and you can pull it up and, you know, search it. But you don't know if you're actually looking at the real one. That's the problem.
That's not only the problem, it's like the cop-out, right? It's like, well, we don't have any clear footage. And then they have a Discovery Channel show based all around finding this thing, which is insane to me.
Yeah, which is interesting because that show, I came across that too. And that show doesn't even really go fuck around in the areas where people were murdered.
Exactly.
So it's like, you guys are too pussy. I don't know.
I'd be game for it.
I mean, if I'm there and I'm actually going to do like research on something and I'm there to find out if something's real or not, I'm going to go to ground zero. It's like, well, let's go where all the killing's happening.
I would make it to where I was able to leave before sundown, though. I mean, we're not staying here at Bigfoot murder zone overnight.
I agree with that.
That's like going to the border of Pakistan and India right now in the middle of a war.
Dude, the only way that I would stay there overnight, and if there were killings going on actively, like, and I knew that going there.
Night vision, thermals, and...
Oh, no. Like, they need to airdrop an Abrams tank. I'm going to get inside of it, and that's how I'm going to conduct my research. I'm going to drive the tank around. And anytime I can't get to a point because there's trees, I will blow them the fuck up. Drive through it that way. Oh, you just blew up some giant black entity, you know, from that, you know, the description, right? Like the Nantinaq. Well,
shouldn't have been there.
Problem solved, fellas.
Found it.
Sure, it turned into smoke. Well, someone get the vacuum, start sucking in all that air.
What is this? Lost?
Oh,
it's the Lost monster.
If only the show ended correctly. Which, how could you?
I think I've mentioned Lost like 5 times.
You've mentioned Lost quite a bit. So, just to progress through this, so let's jump to 2023 to 2024. So there was more reports coming in and new ones from Kodiak. How the fuck do you say that?
I am laughing. I am laughing at the third bullet point here. Rhythmic breathing and guttural howls on handheld audio recordings.
Yeah.
Was my man just like jerking off too hard and he's...
No, it's so bad, dude.
He's like, oh, it's the Nantinaq.
Oh, that's what happened, dude. Like it was getting uploaded to the cloud, and he forgot he didn't turn off his Bluetooth, and so he was like, yeah, did you guys catch that? When he found out it went up there, and they're like, oh, what was that? It kind of sounded like someone was jerking off. No, dude, that was outside. I heard that coming from the trees.
That had to be Bigfoot. That had to be Bigfoot.
Had to be Bigfoot. Well, dude, Bigfoot's jerking off. Like, he's a bull dude.
Have you seen that
Big
video?
guy. He's got big needs.
Have you seen that video of the
fuck.
guy who said he got raped by Bigfoot's girlfriend?
Yeah.
She forced me to do it.
She forced me.
It's
Funny as shit.
very good.
Very funny. But anyways, so let's continue. So yeah, you mentioned the last bullet point, but hunters started going missing and are found with crushed limbs. Just crushed limbs. That's it. Like they were grabbed and mangled.
Oh my god!
Like they weren't like ripped to shreds that
Just
you would
killed.
think a bear would. No, they were just crushed.
You don't belong here.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here. Like we're gonna mangle you.
God dang.
Yeah. And then cabins found torn open. Now, this one sounds more like I put it in there because it was part of the bullshit.
It sounds like a bear.
Sounds like a bear on this one. It was saying that cabins were found torn open and food caches ransacked. Well, what animal do we know that's big that would do that?
And often
You know.
do that. You know.
Yeah. That one's a really shitty thing to report on, if you ask me. Yeah, just a little bit. And of course, you already said it. You jumped the gun.
It's just
Rhythmic
so funny.
breathing
It's just
of
so
guttural
funny.
howls from coming all over the place.
Dude,
Dude,
you got Barry out there who's trying to study, and he gets a little lonely.
it gets a little lonely. There's no female Nantinaq.
We haven't found any Bigfoots in years. Bigfoot's sad.
What kind of porn he watches?
I don't want to know that.
Probably a lot of weird looking bark.
Nope, I'm over it.
You know,
Next, please.
pulls the bark off, etches like some type of female looking
Hate
Sasquatch,
that.
or he carves a tree down. That's why they're snapping him. He's carving a lifelike one he can look at. You know, like
This one's
bad. Oh, that was a bad drawing. Snap it down. I made the tits all lopsided.
My Wi-Fi's not working out here. I can't. Alaska made Pornhub illegal. I can't go here now.
I can't go here now. Anyway, so all right. So in late 2024, a fishing vessel crew filmed a large silhouette moving upright through a coastal forest. It was later removed from social platforms without explanation.
Well, that's
Yeah, so it is. I came across actual like the true evidence showing it was online at one point, but then it was just taken down off of every platform.
Did you save that?
What?
Did you see the video?
No, it's been removed.
Gotcha.
I found the actual proof that it was uploaded at some point. Like there was a video up there of what they're talking about, and there was numerous accounts spreading it around back in like 2023, the early 2024, and then it just got like taken down off every platform and every channel that had it up.
Interesting.
At the time,
Interesting.
I didn't see anything. When you go to YouTube and you try to look up something vague like that,
Yeah, you're gonna get some weird.
you're
shit.
gonna get so much different things that
The CIA just used one of their hacking tools and just deleted it from the internet.
yeah, and that was the part that was very peculiar to me. That
Well,
made me
that all the evidence was gone off social media.
yeah, that the video was removed, not just the original video, but anytime the video was shared. So if someone screen captured it and
Well-
uploaded it again, it was removed as well off a different account that wasn't even related to
it
any of
has
that.
it has a hash graph tag to it, as we learned
Yeah.
from cryptograph episode.
Yeah. So I mean, they got it pulled, but
Yeah.
that fuels it more to the whole. There must
you
have been
say-
something legitimate to that video.
Would you say it
You know.
gives me fuel to my fire?
Yeah, dude.
Give me that which I desire.
The fuego, dude.
Yeah,
I
Metallica.
don't sound like queer nothing, but
What?
fires are kick ass.
I don't think I think that's pretty universal.
Yeah, dude, fire kicks ass. Anyways, so yeah,
I don't
so
want to sound gay or anything, but I love my wife.
I don't sound gay or nothing, but my wife's awesome. She's a great driver too. She always is rational, always is logical too. I was lying.
Yeah, I think we all know sarcasm.
No, we don't. Anyways, so yeah, so in that was the video part. So in 2025, though, January through May,
Yeah, we heard this one.
this is why I started with that, because I didn't want you to know that it was actually like other shit going on beforehand. I was trying to make it exciting for you.
At the edge of my seat.
Yeah, so two people went missing near Portlock. They found clawed metal sighting. This one They found one that was actually 19-inch long footprints.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, massive footprints at a private lodge near Namwalek. Namwale or
How
whatever
big?
you say.
How many inches are your feet?
Tell me, like, what shoe size I wear?
Nope.
I don't know. I just go by shoe size, dude.
Do we do? Is there a measuring tape in the studio?
No.
We should measure our feet for reference.
I'm gonna let my ass up.
Mine's 19.
My foot measures 8.5 inches. Well, let me measure it for my foot, Evan. Ha, mine's a quarter inch longer. I got a bigger dick. What? It's math. It's science. It's fact.
It's simple math, dude.
You know that's so accurate. You have no idea.
I mean, I don't know. Put it into perspective. I don't know the inches of my feet, unless it's the shoe size. Then it's 10 inches.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that about the foot impressions that they were finding in like snow and mud and dirt and all this crap, it wasn't like there was actual like, as if you're bipedal and you're walking heel to toe. It was showing like the heel impression going up into the balls of the front of the feet,
That's so
the
awesome.
knuckles. Like it wasn't like a snowshoe or some shit. And snowshoes, I don't know if you guys have ever seen snowshoes. Snowshoes are way fucking bigger.
No, yeah,
They're like this long.
like 4 times your foot.
Yeah, like, and I only know that because I've worn them before, and my dad always had a pair that he always hung like old school ones.
Yeah, I think
for
most
decorative
people
pieces.
have seen them.
Yeah, so it's just like, dude, I don't know, it's a bunch of weird shit. But yeah, they found the clawed metal sighting, the 18 and 19-inch footprints around these different lodges, and then in March there was like a viral audio recording capturing a deep get this, they analyzed it and it was a multi-frequency scream.
Huh?
So the scream that they heard resonated different frequencies
I mean, I get what multi
when they
means, but, like, how's
analyzed the audio
that, the fuck?
because of how it sounded. It was like something wildly unnatural.
How does that happen?
I don't know, but I tried to find it and get this. So the footage, so I found audio recordings, but they're bullshit ones.
And
There are people trying to replicate it and say it's the original.
I tried looking for it too, and I just got a
Yeah.
bunch of Pantera songs. It was badass.
Dude, Cowboys from Hell was playing on repeat, dude.
Multi-frequency screams, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. But yeah, so get this. I couldn't find the original one. I couldn't find it. And then that's when I came across, apparently, it was removed.
Another
Just like the video from 2000.
sounds like the
whatever.
Mormons got to it, or the Scientologists.
Fuck. Stop going clear all the time, guys. Come on. Get dirty with the rest of us. I love dirty vision, dude. It's the best.
So we talked about the drone already.
Yeah. So yeah, and it returned. So the footage that they got though, it was all like all the files were scrambled on it,
Corrupted.
which is weird if you ask me. If it was relaying and everything was good, and all of a sudden it just dies, and it was fully charged, and it only had been up for a little bit, that sounds to me like something nuked it electrically.
Sounds like a jammer of some sort.
Yeah, dude, I bet it would be. What if that is just like their like experimentation ground?
Testing
that
ground.
tundra
That's
for experimentation. I know you were leading to it earlier.
yeah.
I was just saving it for the end.
That is where my brain goes to with a lot of these cryptids. Like, yeah, we saw a half pig, half human, half dog running across the street. I'm sorry, what the fuck and where are you located? Because if you're in the middle of nowhere, more than likely there's a testing facility for bioanimals.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, dude, it's just weird shit. Now getting into what you were saying, the military and conspiratorial shit.
Unverified but precedent claims that military operations in the Alutations during World War II and Cold War may lead to genetic experimentation involving primates.
Mm-hmm.
Theories include engineered cryptids for extreme terrain combat. Fuck yeah, dude.
That's
so sick.
Tight.
First and foremost, badass. How can we make these monkeys cooler? Let's inject them with human DNA so they can fight for us. Then we have chimeric creatures escaping containment during base closures, which we know has already happened at Plum Island in New York. We have seen the photos that have washed up on beaches and the documents saying that they have done it.
Man, you said beaches. You made me think of peaches. Then I was like, what's in the teaches of peaches? But sex on the beaches.
Oh.
Huh?
Careful,
What?
copyright.
And that's where I stopped.
10%.
10%. That was 2% effort, though.
So, soft denial of incident zones near Portlock. So this is all screaming what is happening.
Yeah, well, can I give a detail about the soft denial?
No.
You're going to love it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, cool. I was hoping so. Thanks, Dad. So, soft denial was there are locals there right now that when people were coming to investigate other locals, because they, like I said, they've been forming, patrols that they haven't done since the 1940s when it was happening the last time when people were dying and shit like that. Well, the locals started forming patrols again now in 2025 to figure out, like, no, fuck, this is modern day. We got way better tech. Let's go fuck some shit up.
That's right.
They're probably 20 years behind still, but still way better tech. But the thing is, though, is that, like, they haven't done it since then. Well, when some of these people were going to other people who lit, like, cabins, like showing up to these cabins going like, hey, we're investigating. Can you tell us what your account was? They deny it.
I mean,
and get this. There are reports coming in, leaked reports coming out saying that there are people who are randomly locals denying that anything's happening because of threats on their life. If they say that these are, like, people, we're talking about supposed key witnesses.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that was a whole thing I came across.
They're being threatened to talk about the things that are happening.
Allegedly.
China.
So yeah, so there's that. And then but anyways, that's really the Nantinaq. Nantinaq.
I was looking at the wrong screen. I just wanted to put my hand in a little bit.
You were coming over here, dude. I was just like,
where the fuck is my arm at?
Yeah. So the Nantinaq. That's pretty much it on it, man. That's all we got. We got the stuff that happened a long time ago, and the reports on that, and we got the stuff that has happened recently, and now it's not really. It's not a isolated thing of rumors anymore, or like a spooky bedtime story.
Yeah.
Like they're it
happened again.
Forest has awakened. Well, they say this is where, like, the great, what was it? The awakening's happening. Dude, it's not about us, about the fucking forest, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It's about the planet. The planet's waking up. A big eye's about to open.
It's about, like, the literally cryptids, brother.
Yeah. What?
It's about the cryptids.
Oh, yeah. It's all about them.
The cryptids are coming to awake. Wait, what did you say about the planet has an eyeball?
Oh, I was going to make a joke as in, like, the planet's waking up and it's got a face and the eye's going to open. It's going to open and all of a sudden, oh, there goes South America. Like, that was the crust on it, the corner of its eye.
Just popped off.
Yeah, it just opened. I was like, fuck, what's in my eye? It was slapping himself.
It's Earth.
But anyway, so, yeah, man, this is a real thing that's actually going on.
That's spooky.
And here I'm going to leave a conclusionary bullet points. Oh, thank you. I'm going to leave conclusionary bullet points. Right now, we have eyewitness testimonies that now span across 90 plus years. Technically, across 90 plus years.
Okay.
Right? So before it wasn't like, oh, there's a folklore from 100 years ago. You've got it now in multiple places. And that's not including other random reports from like the 60s that I did not mention. And I did that intentionally because they were very loose and it was like one-time reports of people who were out there venturing through whatever. They didn't live there. So I didn't know if they didn't really seem credible. So I didn't mention them, but they were still reported to the locals and to the closest thing to authority there at that time. So,
I mean, I'm a firm believer in the concept of it being a hybrid creature.
Yeah.
Some sort of
wouldn't surprise me.
Freak of nature science experiment that happened up there.
Or just a dude who worked out a lot, dude. He got to eat all the food out there because all the locals left. No one was trapping. No one was fucking with this.
Finally, I'm gone. I go bench press some trees.
Dude, he's snacking on salmon for fucking mid-afternoon lunch. And then he's just like going over there and just grabbing an elk by the neck and just like, eating them whole in one bite. And he's just like, man, I'm eating good. Look how strong, dude.
So stupid.
Dude, you see these fucking furry biceps, dude? I can snap that tree and watch this shit. Touches it.
Hey, brother, you ever see a black Honda Civic pull up in the middle of the jungle? I'm about to be that motherfucker. Hey, you see me out here with my protein bars coming out here. You better watch yourself. I don't need no fucking protein powder. I got protein salmon, dude.
Wait a minute. What if we find out that really Nantinaq is just fucking R.A. Cisco? I mean, he's a big dude,
He
man.
lives near it. He lives near
He
it.
lives somewhat near it, man. He's a big fucking dude, too. Apparently.
Ryan, if you are
I'm just saying he's Nantinaq.
if you are Bigfoot, not in the gay community, but just in the
dude, that's your porn name. You're Bigfoot.
but just out in the wilderness, you lost your mind a little bit. You wanted to go get some more inspiration for your book. Find yourself getting photos taken. Did you kill somebody, Ryan?
And yeah, Ryan, did you? And Ryan, how your name will be written on the cover of these porn videos, like to show you the actor credited, credits on there. It's gonna say big space D, capital D period, space foot.
Nah.
Big D foot.
Nope.
Dude.
It's gonna say big LD. Big little dick foot.
Oh, Ryan, it's shots fired, dude. Anyways, so we love you,
I
Ryan.
got a bone to pick with you, Ryan.
He's got a bone to pick. Like literally.
First off, in the book, you made
Emphasis on the bone part.
You made a guy named Evan a pussy. That's not cool. First off, and then, you read a story about me getting raped by aliens. What the fuck is happening?
I'm pretty sure when Ryan was writing that story about all the mysticism, he was basing it on the
he didn't even know me,
man. He was doing facts. I'm sorry, not catering to emotion.
He couldn't name it Ben.
Watch out for that venereal disease. What is it? We just call it Ben. Like,
It's that powerful. Run away, ladies and gentlemen.
oh, it's that powerful. Yes, but yeah.
And if you're just not joining us at the end of the episode, what are you doing here so late? We started 2 hours ago. Hello.
Come on.
Didn't you get the notifications?
Come on. Evan, everything he says, he means about himself.
That's not true at all.
No, it's true.
I'm an on time. I'm an on time kind of guy.
Nah, you're just gay. What? Aliens. That's what it was. R.A. Cisco. Ask him. He can tell you everything about Evan. Dude, I don't think that's ever going away.
I know it's not.
Especially once our awesome animated short story, which will be coming out.
It's
very
animated?
soon. I animated it.
Oh, fuck me, huh?
Well, I mean, it's somewhat animated. It's not animated as in like actually like moving mouths or
Okay,
anything.
thanks.
It's still images, but I made images for each scene.
Do we have to voice the scenes?
Yeah, dude, we're doing it.
Okay.
And I was hoping I could do all the voice work for when you're in one part of the story where you're very panicked and you're scared of what might
I will do
be
my own voice. Thank you
in
very
or
much.
near around your butt.
I'll do my own voice.
And-
Thank you very much.
I just want to be like,
I'll do my own voice. Thank you very much.
it's going to be Aziz Ansari the whole time.
Yeah.
Guys, gotta get me.
I'm just going to go get a voice plug, an AI voice plug, and put it in as Joe Biden. Oh, no, they're going to be
I can see it now.
Oh,
The moment it starts to touch, the alien finger starts to get near your butt, you're like, oh, Medicare.
oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to need Medicare after that shit, dude. Like,
what is it? It feels back like a nom or something. I don't know.
see back in no.
Yeah, I did. Stupid jokes. Stupid
anyway.
jokes. Stupid jokes.
So the conclusion, all of this, just to finish what I was saying, we have documented historical kind of precedent. We have eyewitness testimonies across basically 90 years now. And then, of course, the biggest one for me, or the two main ones, is the cultural validation that happened from the tribes. So that predates the murders and all that stuff that happened to that town. Just for that whole area and region, that goes back hundreds of years to that native tribe that has lived all in that area.
Well, yeah, that adds validity
So-
to the conversation, right? That adds
Yeah.
validity to the concept, the
Yeah.
argument, all of it, right? They're like, well, they talked about this exact murder spree 100 years ago.
Yep. Now,
It very likely could be a copycat serial killer out there.
copycat.
I don't know why he said it like that,
I
but
don't know.
it definitely possibly could have been.
Call it CCing, dude.
It definitely possibly could have been. Now, figure that one out.
So it's a
Conspiracy boy.
DPC.
Uh-oh.
Definitely, possibly could have been.
That's definitely not milk.
Could have been
dude.
condensed. We're just starting with a C. That's
You
it.
gotta stop milking this up. I'm telling you.
Lastly, the other thing that was that I thought was the most evident, of something that's, brings any kind of seriousness to this, is also the physical evidence itself. Not because, like, obviously there's some weird ins and outs about the video footage, right? We didn't get to see it. I'm not counting that. I'm talking about the documented footprints, these massive fucking
Any photos?
footprints. Honestly, I did not pull them.
I don't think
But-
there are.
I said we should try to look them. But I'm talking about the accounts, talking about the physical damage, but also the fact that the audio footage has been removed, the video footage was removed off of everything, even accounts that weren't the original uploaders account. We're talking about regular people who had just their own
I mean,
accounts. That's suspicious as fuck to me. That tells me someone who a little bit higher up in a totem pole somewhere ran a couple
it was
keystrokes.
Larry Fink.
God damn it, Larry Fink. But other than that, you know, this is it, man. It's like a myth. I mean, is it a myth? Is it a military manipulation? Is it fucking some type of spiritual paranormal thing? Cryptid?
I think we have
don't know.
3 options. It's either paranormal, alien, or military. That's it.
Or dude,
That's 4.
imagine there's like
Or
a lot of weird
dude.
incest going on, right? Up there, a little scarcity going on, you know. So people, a little bit of family inbreeding happening. You know, you remember the Whitakers or whatever, the ones that,
absolutely.
yeah. Imagine that, but with people who are like, imagine like there's like a, you know, like
Like super hairy and
no, just hear me out. You know, like, you know, you got like you know, you got friends who are like, you know, you see some people walking around the street, like, look at these professional football players and shit. These giant fucking dudes, or basketball players. They're giant fucking dudes. Imagine if a family line had all these big people in it like that, and they started doing inbreeding, and they're living off the land, eating beef all the time, working out, moving stuff, and they just become this, like, kind of like a pig, you know. A domesticated pig is just a pig
And
that
they
you would
decided-
see.
and-
But the moment you let it outside and you leave it out in the wild, you'll see it starts getting hairy and dark, and it starts getting the shit all over it, and its teeth start to actually point out and get nasty, and then turns into a fucking wild boar. It becomes undomesticated, and that's where you got wild boar. Wild boar, just fucking undomesticated pig. That's it. You could take a regular pig that was born in captivity and put it out there. So imagine family of inbreeding of people who would have been great athletes if they didn't do that. But they're still great athletes, obviously, if they're snapping trees in half and shit, you know, impaling people's chests with their dicks. But, or we don't know if it's a dick, but I'm assuming it probably was, because if it's that dude, if it's a person that big, dude, you're at dick level already. Like, you're fucked. Like, nah.
You gotta
You know.
you gotta look at the green light when you're talking.
I keep it's there's so much light in my face right now. I'm just looking, dude. I'm looking. Oh, hey, people over here. What's going on? Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I'm blind right now. I'm just looking over at you, but I don't even know if I'm looking at you.
I'm not here.
Okay, cool. Oh, you are remoted in. That's cool. But anyways, I don't
Thank
know.
you.
All I'm saying is that sorry, I was going on just being a douche and a jokester about it. But in all reality, though, there's no. I have no idea what it may be.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole
It's
point of the
something
cryptid, right? That's the whole point of the cryptid. There's a lot of murders that have been going on around there. No one's seen the evidence. It may possibly just be an abnormally large bear who's just going around killing. It's very possible, right?
I'm gonna try to look it up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can find at least an image.
fucking know, y'all. We're here surprised just like you. We found some interesting conversation to talk about, and now we are trying to debunk it, or not necessarily debunk it, but figure it out. We have evidence of the giant feet. We have evidence of murders without eating, without the human or creature being eaten. So we have murder. We have footprints. We have broken trees that are really high up that are splintered like toothpicks. Put all these things together, you have some sort of giant entity that's hairy that's going around terrorizing people, you know? Personally, I don't think it's going to be any sort of abnormal alien species. It's fun to think about. It's more than likely just going to be some sort of gigantic bear. You have to think literal and logical over here sometimes. Much like getting a Chicago-raised pope. You got to think logical. We want an American in every position of power possible.
Yeah.
For prayer services in the Catholic Church now, we're going to have deep dish pizza, baby. You know, a lot of things going on. You got to pull up that picture I sent you on X real quick.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
So, Antonio Brown, he's a football player, right?
This one?
Yeah.
Let me open image, new tab. Let me or actually I'm gonna
Yeah, that works.
click on this. Hold on, I gotta move it over here so I can put it up for everybody to see.
So the Last of Us character, I'm sure everybody knows who it is. It's Bella Ramsey. So,
All right, I'm gonna switch it over.
it's Shane Gillis. It looks like her too.
Fuck. Oh, I swear to God, I can't stand the whole thing. Oh, it was so stressful choosing my pronouns. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
God, your life is
I don't want to get into that right now. This episode's not based around sexual orientation specificities.
Well, you did a shit job playing Ellie, you bitch.
Yeah, that I could get up on part of.
Yeah.
We
I thought you were
can
about to say get up into that. I was like, dude, that's going to make you, in the trans community, gay.
We can also get off of Shane Gillis as Bella Ramsey picture now.
Come on, I loved it. That's my new background, dude.
I don't blame you. It's hysterical.
Anyway, so, but that's all we got. For everyone who tuned in, thank you for joining us. But yeah, that's all we got going today, and that's pretty much the end of it.
You should go back. You should go back to my little page here. I think some more stuff. Go to the messages and check out this one here. I don't know if you saw that. They have the actual footage of the Tic Tac that they released from Lockheed Martin. That's what it actually looks like.
That looks like it's photoshopped.
That's what it actually looks like.
That looks like it's fucking photoshopped. Bull donkey.
Bull donkey.
That looks like it's fucking photoshopped. Like, I'm gonna zoom in on that.
So it's a drone. It's called TRT, testosterone ready tablets, dude.
All right, let me switch it over. Yeah, that looks, dude. That looks photoshopped. That looks photoshopped as fuck. Let me zoom it in. There you go. That dude, someone photoshopped that. I don't care. No, that literally, that is showing. There are indications just looking at this image right now, especially this part right here, this outline, the barrier of it. That looks completely fake. Like beyond fake. It's one thing to look fake and it turns out to be real because you're seeing something you've never really seen before. But the way this is inset in on the image, this looks like it's just an overlay. Someone just grabbed another photo and threw it on there.
That's fine.
I'm going to analyze the fuck out of it later. But for now, it's real.
Well, let's say that it is Photoshop. This is probably just a representation of what it would look like then.
What are the little pokey things for?
Those are the antennas for the...
Oh, for controlling it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was for like impaling shit. It's like, we don't use guns, dude. We just stab our way through.
It actually sits sideways like a couch moving through the air. It's
it's just missing the bottom cushion, dude. Like, we're supposed to be sitting on there having a great... Oh, that's probably what it was. That's probably why they don't put the real image, because it's probably got some dude sitting on there with his little like Xbox controller going, fuck, the F-16s are all around me.
We gotta go faster. The G-force is too high. My ears are popping.
All he's got is like a regular... He's got a... I can see it now. The seat that's supposed to go where those little hooks are, it's an old bench seat from a 1972 Chevy pickup, and it's just a bench seat put on there. So he's got the old school belt buckle.
Oh,
just
yeah, brother.
The one across the lap, so his upper body's
He's
just
wearing goggles.
Yeah, his old dude. I can see it now. He's just like, oh, just hairs. He's, oh, dude, that's a great time. Oil stain on the shirt. You know?
Yeah. Anyway,
that's changed the oil on it the day before.
That's the show today, everybody.
You know?
Hope you all enjoyed it as always. I'm Evan. That's Ben.
Yeah.
Stick around for everything that we always do. We'll see you next week. Thank you again to Dustin Beck and David Southerner for the creation and production of the intro and outro. Thank you all both very much for that. Thank you to Batcat Studio. Thank you to our author friends back here for the art and the books. We will see y'all next time.
Yep. And like always stay uneducated. Right?
I don't think we've ever said that before.
Stay uneducated.
But
right?
like always.
But like always, we do that stuff. You know what I mean?